Part 34. Dantian has a little field. Author, The Magic Orb Zoo. Chapter 331. Seeing that the great sage of Demon Prison had closed the 1,000-mile sound-transmitting water mirror, Mo Ming breathed a sigh of relief, looked around carefully, and returned to the temple. For 100,000 years, the demons have been sending spies to the fairy world continuously, but basically they have been caught by the people of the fairy world. Even if there are some who have not been caught, they are only some low-level immortal soldiers who are qualified to enter. Mo Ming is the only one who has climbed to a high position close to the core in the holy city. Mo Ming's ability to climb to such a height is not only because of his outstanding talent, but also because he has always been cautious in doing things. However, he didn't know that Lin Su and Sun Wukong had entered the temple behind him and were merging the memories from 100,000 years ago. The original power they left behind. Because of this, the temple and even the entire holy city are always under the spiritual surveillance of the Mad Lion Saint and the Water Moon Saint. Mo Ming thought that it was perfect and no one noticed that he was communicating with the demon prison Monkey King. Little did he know that the scene had already fallen into the eyes of the crazy Lion Saint and the Water Moon Saint. Damn spy! I'm going to tear him apart, pull out his demon soul and suffer from the burning fire day and night. The Mad Lion Saint was so angry that he wanted to go to Mo Ming to settle the score, but was stopped by Shui Yu. The saint stopped him. Lao Jin, don't be impulsive. Didn't you hear what he just said? The demon flame master has woken up. If you take care of him now, the demon army will attack the fairy world in the next moment, Shui Yu Saint said solemnly. When the Mad Lion Saint heard this, his anger seemed to be extinguished by cold water. Yes, the demon flame lord has awakened, and now he is in big trouble. Shui Yu, are you saying that the demons won't attack so soon? After calming down and thinking about it, Crazy Lion Saint seemed to understand the meaning of Shui Yu Saint's words. As long as the information about the two saints is not leaked, the demons will not be in a hurry to attack. The demon flame lord has just awakened. He will definitely wait until he returns to his peak state before leading the demon king to officially attack the fairy world, Water Moon Saint said. Are you sure? Asked the Crazy Lion Saint. 80% sure, Shui Yu Sage said firmly. Now the great sage of demon prison must think that the great sage of demon morning was killed by Lord Xiang, and he will probably repay the demon flame lord in this way. Do you think the Lord of Demon Flame will put Lord Xiang in your eyes? Are you so anxious to immediately send troops to attack the fairy world? That makes some sense. But I'm afraid this won't delay it for long, the Mad Lion Saint shook his head. It's only a moment if we can delay it. As long as we wait until Holy Lord Kishan and Holy Lord Red Lotus come out of the temple, we no longer have to be afraid of the demonic flame lord, Saint Shui Yu sighed. Just as Saint Shui Yu expected, the great sage of demon prison returned to the demon world, and in his reward to the Lord of Demon Flame, he attributed the death of the great sage of demon morning to the appearance of a tyrant bear king in the fairy world. However, in the heart of the Lord of Demon Flame, only the Monkey King and the Red Lotus Monkey King are in his eyes. As for the tyrant bear king, 100,000 years ago, he was just a stupid bear who could not even reach the level of the great sage. Even if he has reached the level of the great sage now, what threat does it pose to him? After some consideration, the time to attack the immortal realm was set 3 years later. The entire demon clan entered a state of intense preparation for war. On the contrary, there was no response from the immortal realm. The immortals on the other side of the Liuxian River had no idea about the upcoming war. No awareness. Of course, this is because the Mad Lion Saint and the Water Moon Saint did not spread the news that the demons were about to attack. Anyway, the key to preserving the fairy world lies in the high-level combat power, especially Lin Su, Sun Wukong, and the Demon Flame Lord. In terms of the outcome of the competition, whether the other immortals are prepared or not will not have much impact on the outcome. Just when Lin Su and Sun Wukong were merging the original power of their previous lives in the temple, just when the demonic flames dominated the sign and all the demons above the level of immortals in the demon world were sharpening their swords and preparing to launch a general attack on the immortal world, the world had been sealed for 100,000 years. Changes have also occurred in the world of gods. The god realm is not independent of the world. The reason why it was sealed back then was because it was severely damaged in the war between gods, demons, and immortals. If it had not been sealed, the demons would have given up on the weakest immortal realm and destroyed the old rival of the god realm first. Facts have proved that the decision of the original god emperor to dominate this world was extremely correct. After 9 years of cultivation and recuperation, the strength of the god realm has undergone earth-shaking changes. Now there are 2 master-level powerhouses and 5 great sage-level powerhouses. There are dozens of saint-level experts and countless golden immortal experts. This strength has exceeded the combined power of the demon world and the fairy world, and the god world is unwilling to continue to seal the world. It's just that it's not that simple to break the seal of the world. The seal that sealed the entire god realm was placed by the god emperor lord with the power of the source of life. The god emperor lord was the strongest master-level powerhouse in the entire god realm at that time. The power of the source of life is much stronger than the 3 major masters of the current god realm. Even if the 3 of them work together, each of them will have to spend more than half of the power of the source to break the seal. And losing more than half of the original power is very likely to cause the 3 masters of the gods to fall from their position of dominance to the realm of the great saint. If this is the case, what is the point of breaking the seal of the gods to create opportunities for the demon world to attack? After years of consideration, the 3 masters of the gods finally came up with a way to cast a divine cauldron capable of storing the master-level source power. The 3 masters of the gods would take turns injecting the source power into it. After taking 2 turns, they would be able to accumulate enough to break it open. The original power of the seal, and if the original power is not consumed at one time, the damage to oneself will be reduced a lot. At least it will not fall to the realm of the great sage. It took more than 10,000 years to cast the divine cauldron and inject the original power in turn. Now, the original power enough to break the seal has finally been injected into the divine cauldron. However, the 3 masters of the divine realm did not rush to break the seal, but took the time to restore the damaged strength. At the same time, they used the chaotic artifact of the divine realm, the mirror of all worlds, to inquire about the situation of the immortal and demon realms. The mirror of all worlds is a chaotic artifact of the divine realm. One of its greatest functions is that it can monitor the situation of the heavens and the worlds. There are only 2 places in the heavens and the worlds that the mirror of all worlds cannot monitor. One is the 10,000 demons tower in the demon realm, and the other is the holy city in the immortal realm. But it doesn't matter. Although the situation in the 10,000 demons tower and the holy city cannot be seen, it can still be inferred from the news around them. The fact that the demon race's demon flame master Susing is actively preparing to attack the immortal realm has also been monitored by the 3 masters of the divine realm. Haha, I didn't expect that the demon flame lord could wake up. It seems that the demons have collected a lot of soul essences in recent years. Lord Xianxia, one of the 3 major gods, laughed. Humph. So what if he wakes up? Even if he is a strong man at the same level as the god emperor, he is still only a master-level fighter, not the god of creation. What is there to be afraid of? The 3 of us working together can't be resisted by him alone, Lord Shenfeng sneered. There are also strong and weak masters at the master level. For example, the 4 people like the Life Lord, the Blood Demon Lord, the God Emperor Lord, and the Demon Flame Lord are the top masters among the master-level masters. They have touched the realm of the God of creation. This is why the Life Lord can kill the Black Demon Lord and drag the Blood Demon Lord to death at the same time, and it is also the reason why the God Emperor Lord can seal the God realm with his own strength to ensure the peace of the God realm for 100,000 years. The Demon Sound Overlord, who was killed by the Great Sage Equaling Heaven and the Great Sage Red Lotus, can only be regarded as an average existence among the overlord level masters, which is equivalent to the strength of the 3 overlords in the current god realm. However, although the demon flame overlord is stronger than the 3 overlords in the god realm, the 3 of them can still defeat him if they join forces. After all, they are all overlord level masters, and there is no qualitative difference between them. In this case, 2 fists are really no match for 4 hands. That's true, but there's no need for us to fight the demon flame lord. The most cunning of the 3 divine worlds, the divine Qin lord, laughed softly. She was also the only female among the 3 divine worlds. Let the demon realm and the immortal realm fight to the death first. When both sides are defeated, we will break the seal and clean up the mess. It saves trouble and effort. Why not do it? Both sides are defeated? Sister Xianxia, you think too much, right? From what we have monitored, the immortal realm is no match for the demon realm at all. I'm afraid it will be easily destroyed by the demon flame lord. How can we talk about both sides being defeated? When the demon realm destroys the immortal realm and its strength is further strengthened, it will be difficult for us to deal with them. Lord Shenhao shook his head. No, brother Shenhao, I'm afraid you underestimate the fairy world. The fairy and demon worlds have been fighting for 100,000 years. Although the demons have deliberately let them win, 1 or more amazing people will appear in the fairy world every once in a while. The purple gold dragon king 30,000 years ago is the best example. Although he is only at the peak of the great sage, his combat power is extremely strong. Although he is not as abnormal as the great sage equaling heaven and the great sage Red Lotus 100,000 years ago, he is also a hard-to-beat opponent among the same level. He fought hard to the death with several people in the demon world. The great sage, at the end, created the Xianxia river to split the fairy land into 2. I heard that Tyrant Bear King is the leader of the 8 demon kings, and his ranking was even higher than the purple gold dragon king 100,000 years ago. Who knows what level he has reached now? Brother Shenhao, don't forget that we used the Wanja mirror to search for a long time just now and didn't see any trace of him. The Lord of the Divine Qin shook his head. Although it was a rebuttal, there was an indescribable charming feeling, which made the Lord of the Divine Hao, who was refuted by him, not feel angry at all, but nodded continuously. Sister Xianxia, are you saying that Tyrant Bear King is a strong enemy? Asked the Lord of the Divine Wind. Maybe, but not necessarily. Don't you think the reaction of the immortal realm is a little strange? The movement of the demon realm is so big, I don't believe that the high-level officials of the immortal realm have not noticed it at all, but do you see them preparing for war? The beauty of the divine harp lord frowned slightly, tapping his fingers on the seat. I wonder if the great sage equal to heaven or the great sage Red Lotus has reappeared in the immortal realm, or even both of them. When Sun Wukong and Lin Su teamed up to kill the great sage of demon sorrow, the 3 great masters of the divine realm did not use the Wanja mirror to monitor the immortal realm, otherwise the divine harp lord would not be guessing but confirming it now. The great sage equal to heaven and the great sage Red Lotus reappeared. No way. If so, how could the demon realm not receive any news? And we didn't monitor anything, the Lord of Shenhao asked in confusion. Nonsense. The high-ranking officials in the immortal realm are not fools. Would they leak such important information? If it were us, we would probably also keep the information strictly sealed. Besides, the myriad mirror is not omnipotent. We cannot monitor the situation in the myriad demons tower and the holy city. The divine Qin Lord rolled his eyes at the divine Hao Lord, who smiled awkwardly and said nothing. Sister Xianxia's words make sense. Whether the immortal realm has any backup plan or not, it will not affect us much. We will just sit on the sidelines and see how the war between the immortal realm and the demon realm turns out. If the immortal realm is vulnerable, we will immediately break the seal and leave without giving the demon realm a chance to grow. If the 2 sides are in a stalemate, we will wait for them to fight each other to a loss and then reap the benefits. The Divine Wind Lord, who had hardly spoken from beginning to end, made the final conclusion. Among the three masters of the divine world, Master Shenqin is a woman and a think tank, so Master Shenhao and Master Shenfeng are quite polite and doting to him. However, the one who really speaks is Master Shenfeng, who doesn't talk much. The reason is very simple. Master Shenfeng is the strongest among the three. The strong are respected is an eternal truth. 3 years passed quickly. The army of the demon world has set out for the fairy world. After hearing this news, the immortals in the fairy world finally got nervous. Seeing that the matter could no longer be concealed, Saint Guangxi and Saint Chuiyu simply dispatched immortal soldiers to defend. There is a vast starry sky between the demon world and the fairy world. Millions of demon world troops cannot be carried by the small teleportation hall of the demon city. How much energy would it consume? Therefore, the army of the demon world can only take the interstellar warships that can sail in the starry sky to the fairy world. It will take about half a year to reach the fairy world. The time is a bit rushed, but it is still in time for deployment. Of course, the Mad Lion Saint and the Water Moon Saint know that whether the fairy world can stop the attack of the demon world army this time depends on whether Lin Su and Sun Wukong can integrate the original power in time to restore their peak strength and come out of the temple, because only the two of them can compete with the demon flame lord. No matter how many others there are, they are just sending food. It's just that the Mad Lion Saint and the Water Moon Saint are anxious. So far, there is still no movement in the temple. The two saints went to discuss with the Tyrant Bear King, but the Tyrant Bear King is also at a loss now, and he can't enter the temple. No other way, try to delay time. If it doesn't work, I can only risk my life to delay the demon flame overlord. After the battle with the demon sorrow great sage, Lin Su and Sun Wukong entered the temple to merge the original power left by the previous life, while Tyrant Bear King practiced in seclusion in the holy city. Fortunately, he broke through the saint realm and reached the great sage level not long ago. Although he was not as abnormal as the great sage equaling heaven and the great sage Red Lotus who could fight the overlord with the great sage Cultivation, he also reached the combat power of the purple gold dragon king 20,000 years ago. Dantian has a little field. Author, The Magic Orb Zoo. Chapter 332. The current Tyrant Bear King has no problem dealing with the demon prison great sage of the demon clan, but if he really has to face the demon flame overlord, he may only be able to hold off even if he burns the original power to temporarily increase his combat power. The original power is limited, and even the original power of a great sage level strongman cannot last for long. Tyrant Bear King is planning to delay with death. Bear Lord, you can't get into trouble, otherwise we won't be able to explain. After the two saints come out of retreat, the Mad Lion Saint was anxious when he heard it. Lin Su could see clearly how much he valued Tyrant Bear King, not to mention Sun Wukong. Tyrant Bear King is his old subordinate and old brother. That depends on us to hold on until they come out of retreat, Tyrant Bear King said in his heart, couldn't help but smile bitterly, waved his hand and continued to practice with his eyes closed. The Mad Lion Saint and the Water Moon Saint looked at each other, sighed and left Tyrant Bear King's retreat. In the temple, Lin Su and Sun Wukong were sitting cross-legged on the jade platforms on the left and right sides of the temple. Lin Su was surrounded by a ball of red clouds, while Sun Wukong was surrounded by countless golden threads in a ball shape. A little bit of clouds and threads were constantly seeping into their bodies. The red clouds were the source of power that Lin Su left in the temple in his previous life, and the golden threads were left by Sun Wukong in his previous life. Absorbing the source of power left in the previous life was not as complicated as Lin Su imagined. As soon as he entered the hall of the temple, Lin Su was attracted by a ball of red clouds floating on the left side of the hall. A breath of the same origin came out of it, giving Lin Su a very intimate feeling. With just one glance, Lin Su was sure that this red cloud was the source power left by the Red Lotus Great Sage in his previous life. Without any extra nonsense, Lin Su's figure slowly floated up and flew towards the red cloud, blending into it without any hindrance. Similarly, Sun Wukong also flew into the golden thread and sat cross-legged in the air. Two jade platforms rose from the ground and supported the two of them steadily. Lin Su and Sun Wukong sat cross-legged on the jade platforms quietly to absorb and integrate their own source power. Although it was the source power left by their previous lives, it was not so easy to absorb. After all, after the reincarnation of the soldiers, they were in the world through the reincarnation channel and had become two different individuals from their previous lives. Although there was still a connection between the soul source, it also required a process of recognition. 3 years later, the source power had been absorbed by 9 out of 10, but it would take some time to integrate and penetrate. Because of the barrier of the temple, Lin Su and Sun Wukong were not aware of the news from the outside world, and they were even less aware that the demon flame overlord had awakened and was leading the demon army to kill the fairyland, and they were even less aware that the gods were ready to break the seal of the world and join the battle. At this moment, Lin Su and Sun Wukong were both in the pleasure of the rapid improvement of their cultivation after the return of the original power. Especially Lin Su, it is not just as simple as taking back the original power of his previous life to restore the peak cultivation of his previous life. His capital in this life is much stronger than that in his previous life. The Life Overlord's original green lotus in the twin lotuses merged with his own body, the flesh of the dragon clan, the strongest technique Xianxia, and the magical power dragon god seal that best fits the dragon clan's flesh, plus the initial place necessary for breaking into the realm of domination, the spiritual field space, has now developed into an independent world at the same level as the fairyland. Lin Su believes that as long as he integrates this original power, he will definitely be able to reach the peak state of his previous life, and even further break into the realm of domination. Lin Su didn't know what Sun Wukong felt when he absorbed and integrated the power of origin, but for him, this time was different from any previous time. At first, his soul was still in the body, controlling the body to absorb a little bit of the power of origin into the body for integration, but as the power of origin was almost absorbed, his soul suddenly spread out and entered the spiritual field space, and merged with the heart of heaven. This feeling was very strange, as if he had become the way of heaven. Every blade of grass and every change in the entire spiritual field space, including a trace of airflow, was under his control. Although he had similar feelings when controlling the heart of heaven before, it had never been so strong and natural this time. The power of origin continued to be spontaneously absorbed into the body. Lin Su felt that his strength, no, it should be said that the heart of heaven in the spiritual field space was rapidly strengthening, and the change that followed was that the space area of the entire spiritual field space was rapidly expanding. The sky rose and became deeper, the ground fell and became heavier, the volume of the bright sun hanging above the sky was rapidly expanding, and at the same time, a bright moon and countless stars appeared in the sky beside it. The surface of the earth kept wriggling, and mountains rose from the ground. Naturally, the ground also sank into basins, canyons, and ditches. Countless streams converged into surging rivers and rushed into a lake that was constantly widening, deepening, and growing. The lake became larger and larger, and the land was separated into two large pieces, east and west. The ocean was formed, and its area was still expanding rapidly. Later, the area of the ocean even exceeded the sum of the areas of the two continents. As the space of the spiritual field expanded, the Taoist Tower, which was originally located in the chaotic mist outside the space barrier, entered the barrier and stood on an isolated island in the middle of the ocean. The chaotic mist that seemed endless originally also showed its edge faintly. Lin Su could vaguely see the deep darkness and the faint starlight beyond the edge. It was the starry sky. Beyond the chaotic mist was the starry sky of the universe. Could it be that the spiritual field space was about to reveal itself in the universe? Lin Su had never left the fairyland and entered the starry sky of this higher plane to check, but he still clearly remembered the universe and starry sky he felt during the Thousand-Year War when his soul possessed the body of the Life Master when he obtained the avenue of time and space. It was exactly the same feeling as now. This is definitely the universe and starry sky of the same plane. The expansion of the spiritual field space has ended, but the interior is still constantly improving and changing, while the entire continent is moving in the chaotic mist, getting closer and closer to the edge of the chaotic mist. Lin Su knew very well that if this continued, it would not take long to get out of the chaotic mist and enter the universe and starry sky. No, it can't be revealed, otherwise it will be a big trouble. Lin Su knew very well what the result would be if a new continent that did not belong to the fairyland appeared in the universe. It would definitely attract the attention of the demons. Now the heavenly way of the spiritual field space is still constantly improving because it has absorbed the original power left by the Red Lotus Great Sage in his previous life. It has no self-protection ability at all and cannot stop the spying of the master-level strongmen. If the linked-yen space is revealed in the universe, it will be a disaster. The immortal realm is still guarded by so many immortals, but linked-yen space is now alone, and it is the fusion of Yuan Shen and the heart of heaven. There is not much combat power at all. What can I use to stop the master-level strongman? Using the power of heaven, Lin Su forced the linked-yen space to stop at the edge of the chaotic mist. Now is not the time to expose it. After all, we have to wait until the linked-yen space is completely perfected and changed, and form its own protective barrier. Lin Su made up his mind that before he entered the realm of domination, he would never let the linked-yen space appear in the universe. After obtaining the memory of his previous life, Lin Su is no longer the white man who knew nothing about the heavens and the world. Judging from the current situation, the chaotic mist where the linked-yen space is located must be the Chaos Sea in the depths of the universe. Legend has it that the Chaos Sea is the birthplace of the universe. The three worlds of gods, demons, and immortals were all born in the Chaos Sea. The highest level chaos artifacts can only be born in the Chaos Sea. However, legends are just legends after all. No one has ever personally entered the Chaos Sea to explore the truth, because the Chaos Sea has a very strong assimilation force. Even if a master-level strongman enters it, he cannot resist this assimilation force and will eventually return to chaos. Of course, if you can further reach the realm of the God of Creation, then the universe will become your own backyard. You can go wherever you want, even the most bizarre and unpredictable Chaos Sea that can assimilate the master is as easy as walking on flat ground. However, legends are just legends after all. The God of Creation is the existence that created the universe. Since the birth of the universe, there has only been one. For endless years, no matter how amazing you are, no one can cross that threshold. At most, it is just a fantasy. Lin Su didn't know how the spiritual field space in his Dantian could be related to the Chaos Sea. The time and space spanned were too big, right? However, there was no need to think about things that he couldn't figure out, because that meant that he hadn't reached that level yet. The current situation was that the spiritual field space must not be allowed to leave the Chaos Sea and appear in the universe and in front of the world. As long as the spiritual field space didn't leave the Chaos Sea, no one could threaten him in the spiritual field space. Lin Su had already thought about it. No matter what kind of cultivation he could achieve this time, he would inevitably have a big battle with the demon flame lord of the demon realm. It would be good if he could win. If he couldn't win, he would never perish with him like in his previous life. At most, he would give up the fairyland and transfer everyone into the spiritual field space. The Chaos Sea was the best natural barrier. Lin Su didn't believe that the demon flame lord could still chase into the Chaos Sea, unless he didn't want to die. As for the fact that the people in the lower world, that is, Zizuir and others, ascended after the fairyland was ruled by the demons, it was not a difficult matter. Just find a place to build an ascension pool. This was not difficult for Lin Su now. Lin Su had thought about building a flying pool directly in the spiritual field space, but before the spiritual field space was separated from the Sea of Chaos, it could be said that it was cut off from the outside world. To enter and leave, Lin Su could only temporarily open the space gate. The flying pool was cultivated by Baishiu, and people who ascended from the lower world could not appear in the spiritual field space. Because of the changes in the spiritual field space, Lin Su's retreat time was extended this time. Originally, he and Sun Wukong absorbed all the source power into their bodies in 3.5 years, but when Sun Wukong, who had recovered the peak of the great sage cultivation, opened his eyes, he found that the red cloud representing the source power had disappeared, but Lin Su was still sitting cross-legged on the jade platform in the distance, with a mysterious aura all over his body. "Brother Lin, this is..." After a somersault from the jade platform, Sun Wukong walked towards Lin Su. The closer he got to Lin Su, the stronger the mysterious feeling became. When he was within 3 feet of Lin Su, Sun Wukong found that he was blocked by an inexplicable force and could not move forward. Of course, if Sun Wukong burst out all his energy, he would still be able to withstand this force and move forward, but this might have a bad influence on Lin Su. Moreover, in this mysterious feeling, Sun Wukong actually felt that the barrier between the peak of the great sage and the domination that had been trapping him had begun to loosen. Surprised, Sun Wukong sat down cross-legged on the spot and mobilized all his strength to attack the loosened barrier. This was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Whether he could break into the realm of the master depended on this time. At this time, outside the temple, Tyrant Bear King, now should be called Tyrant Bear Great Sage, was looking at the temple with a worried look on his face. Beside him stood the Mad Lion Saint and the Water Moon Saint, whose faces were not much better than Tyrant Bear Great Sage. The demon army has arrived in the fairyland. According to the report of the spies, the demon army of 1 million is now stationed on the bank of the Xianxia River, and they will attack the fairyland as soon as the demon flame master breaks the Xianxia River barrier. The Xianxia River barrier was set up by the Purple Gold Dragon King. Although the strong men of various formations in the fairyland have been constantly strengthening it, it is afraid that it will not be able to stop the strong man like the demon flame master for long. Without the obstruction of the Xianxia River, the demon army will surely march straight in. If the demon flame lord was not there, the tyrant bear great sage and his men would still have the confidence to resist, but would the demon flame lord just stand by and watch? The answer is of course no. Once the demon flame lord intervenes, the immortal world army will probably collapse in an instant and be divided and devoured by the millions of demons. The Water Moon Saint has already issued an order to summon all the people in the immortal world back to the holy city, leaving only the golden immortals and above who are proficient in formations to work together to reinforce the barrier by the Xianxia River, hoping to stop the demon flame lord for a moment longer. Once the barrier of the Xianxia River is broken, those immortals will immediately use the teleportation rune to teleport back to the holy city. The defensive barrier of the holy city was laid by the Life Lord back then, and was later reinforced by the Great Sage Equal to Heaven and the Great Sage Red Lotus, making it extremely solid. At that time, the power of all the people in the immortal world will be gathered to supply energy to the barrier. Even if the Demon Flame Lord personally takes action, it should be able to hold out for a year or two. I hope that Lin Su and Sun Wukong can successfully walk out of the temple before the city is broken. Things developed just as Sage Shuiyu had predicted. After staying on the banks of Xianxia River for 2 months, the demons still could not break the barrier. The great sage of Demon Prison had no choice but to ask the Lord of Demon Flame for help with a shameful look on his face. In the face of the Lord of Demon Flame's terrifying strength, the barrier of Xianxia River that could hold back the million-strong demon army was broken in just 3 days. The demon army marched straight into the holy city. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Dantian has a little field. Author, The Magic Orb Zoo. Chapter 333. The barrier of the holy city is much stronger than that of the flowing immortal river. It is impossible for the demon army to break it alone. Therefore, the demon flame overlord personally took action at the beginning. One after another, the attacks that were enough to destroy the world bombarded the barrier, shaking the barrier constantly. First team, input the immortal energy into the magic circle. The immortals in the immortal world are now all concentrated in the holy city. There are a total of 3 million immortals, and there are more than 500,000 with strength above the golden immortal. The tyrant bear great sage divided these immortals into 3 squares according to their cultivation, and took turns to input immortal energy into the barrier. The immortal energy of millions of immortals was gathered for defense, and they were barely able to block the attack of the demon flame overlord. However, looking at the beads of sweat that kept pouring out of the foreheads of the immortals, it was clear that they were struggling to resist. The attack of the overlord-level strongman was not so easy to block. That is, the barrier dispersed the attack strength, and the power distributed to each immortal was as thin as possible. Otherwise, even if millions of immortals worked together, they would probably be defeated by the opponent with one punch. The first team swallows the pills to recover, and the second team inputs the immortal energy into the magic circle, Tyrant Bear Great Sage ordered loudly. The immortals of the first team, who had persisted for half a month, breathed a sigh of relief, took back the immortal energy sent to the magic circle, and hurriedly took out the immortal pills and spiritual medicines that had been prepared long ago, and threw them into their mouths like chewing beans. These immortal pills and spiritual medicines are all top-quality products. Usually, they are hard to find. If you are not a golden immortal, you can't even think of refining them. Now they have become wholesale goods and are distributed per person. It can be seen that the upper echelons of the immortal world are determined to stick to it. In the past 6 months, including Tyrant Bear Great Sage, all the immortals who have some attainments in alchemy have been refining immortal pills and spiritual medicines day and night, and finally equipped this 3 million immortal army. After this battle, the resources of the immortal realm were almost exhausted. However, as long as they could stop the army of the demon realm and the attack of the Lord of the Demon Flame and successfully hold on until Lin Su and Sun Wukong came out of retreat, everything would be worth it. If even the holy city was breached, their lives would be in danger. Wouldn't all the elixirs and treasures fall into the hands of the demons? The immortals in the first team were busy swallowing pills to restore their immortal energy, while the immortals in the second team quickly took over and injected the immortal energy into the barrier array, and the immortals in the third team were practicing their skills to keep themselves in peak condition. The Mad Lion Saint and the Water Moon Saint spread their consciousness throughout all the immortals and did not relax at all. The more they were at this time, the more they could not be careless. There must be many spies of the demons among the immortals. If they suddenly attacked at this critical moment, it would be absolutely disastrous. The mission of the Mad Lion Saint and the Water Moon Saint is to catch all the demon spies hidden in the army of the immortal world. In fact, the method is very simple. You just need to observe the expressions of these immortals and whether they are sending out their immortal energy with all their strength. If they are spies of the demon clan, they will definitely hope to destroy the defense of the immortal world. There will inevitably be flaws in their expressions, or they may not work hard, or even secretly use their strength to try to cause destruction. The spiritual power of the two saints is so powerful that it is not difficult to catch the spies of the demon clan under full observation. The first one to be caught was the silver-armored immortal Mo Ming. The Mad Lion Saint had long wanted to catch him and tear him into pieces, but he had been forbearing until now in order not to provoke the demon clan to attack in advance. Now that the demon army has already approached, there is naturally no need to endure it. The Mad Lion Saint, who had long been furious, blasted Mo Ming into slag. After knowing that his identity was exposed, this guy tried to resist and even revealed his true form of the demon clan. He turned out to be a top golden immortal master of the Shadow Demon clan. The Shadow Demon Clan is a branch of the Demon Clan. Its strongest ability is its ability to disguise itself. Basically, it can perfectly disguise itself as a life form of any race. When it does not use its true strength, even a being far superior to it cannot discover the true identity of this race, unless it can master the power of the origin of the heavenly Dao, that is, become a dominant existence. Mo Ming tried to escape, but the gap between the peak of the Golden Immortal and the Saint level is so huge, not to mention that the Mad Lion Saint is a master at the peak of the Saint level. In a rage, he tore Mo Ming, who had restored his true form of the Demon Clan, into several pieces and then blasted him into slag. Not only Mo Ming, but also the spies of the Demon Clan were pulled out one after another. Under the close surveillance of the Mad Lion Saint and the Water Moon Saint, they were imprisoned at the moment of their attack and were eliminated without resistance. However, although the spies of the Demon Clan hidden among the Immortals were successfully pulled out and eliminated, it did not have much impact on the Demon Clan's attack on the Immortal Realm. As the saying goes, force defeats cleverness. Since the Demon Flame Overlord has revived and taken action personally, the strength of the Demon Clan is far higher than that of the Immortal World. The elimination of these spies at most means that they cannot cooperate with each other. Sooner or later, the Demon Flame Overlord will be able to break the barrier of the Holy City. This is absolute strength. Brother Monkey, Brother Lin, you guys come out quickly, otherwise you will really have to collect your bodies for me, Old Black. It has been half a year since the demon army besieged the Holy City. The Demon Flame Overlord would attack the Holy City barrier for 2 hours every day. The 3 million Immortal World troops have been rotated countless times. The elixirs and spiritual medicines in their hands are almost exhausted. Even though there are thousands of alchemy masters working day and night, the output is far less than the consumption. It seems that they can't hold on for much longer. Once the barrier is broken, these 3 million immortal armies can at most resist the demon army, but they will never be able to withstand the Demon Flame Lord. The only one who can barely hold back the Demon Flame Lord is the Bear Monarch, but this will require the price paid is something that the great sage Ba Xiang cannot bear. What the great sage Ba Xiang hopes now is that Lin Su and Sun Wukong will come out quickly to resolve this disaster in the fairy world. This is also the hope of all the immortals in the fairy world, but there is still no reaction from the direction of the temple. No matter how strong the fortress is, there will be a day when it is breached. Similarly, no matter how powerful the barrier is, there will be a day when it breaks down. Another half a year has passed, and the barrier of the Holy City is finally overwhelmed and shattered in the desperate eyes of the immortals in the immortal world. Turned into pieces of light and disappeared. Little fellows in the fairy world, stop resisting in vain and surrender to me, the Demon Clan. I will spare your life. It took a full year to break through the Holy City. The demonic Flame Lord was quite angry and wanted to kill everyone in the immortal world right away. However, he still suppressed the murderous intention in his heart. These immortals in front of him were all from the top. Good blood food and slaves can provide the demons with a steady stream of elixirs, magic weapons, and souls of flesh and blood. If you want the demons to become the overlords who dominate the world, these are indispensable resources. If you can capture the demons, Lord Yan was reluctant to kill these immortals. Relax your mind and accept my demon seed, and I will spare your life. The demon seed is a vicious technique used by the demons to control others. The life and death of the person who is planted with the demon seed will be completely controlled by the demons. As long as the demon flame master has a thought, the life of the person who is planted with the demon seed can be made worse than death. This is somewhat similar to a master-servant contract. The difference is that a master-servant contract can be forcibly signed, but there is a certain quantity limit, while demon seeds need to be planted with an open mind, but there is no quantity limit. Once you choose to be planted with a demon seed, the immortals in the immortal world will truly become the slaves of the demons. From then on, they will have no control over their own life and death. Just like pigs and sheep in captivity, they will become the blood food of the demons. This pair of immortals in the immortal world, it is simply impossible for the immortals to accept it. What is the purpose of cultivating immortality? In addition to gaining powerful power, isn't it more about breaking the limits of life, pursuing transcendence, and pursuing control of one's own destiny? If one is planted with a demon seed and becomes a slave and blood eater of the demon clan, then what is there to talk about detachment and control over one's own destiny? It would be better to die spectacularly and re-enter the cycle of reincarnation to start over. All the immortals chose to resist. The great sage tyrannical bear faced off against the lord of demonic flames, while the crazy lion saint and the water moon sage faced off against the great sage demon prison. The 3 million immortal soldiers in the immortal world fought in a melee with the army of the demonic world. The strength of the immortal soldiers and the demon soldiers are almost the same. The mad lion saint and the water moon saint can still block the demon prison monarch, but the tyrant bear monkey king has great difficulty in dealing with the demonic flame lord. After burning his own origin, the monarch is still not a demon. The opponent of Lord Yan was beaten until he vomited blood. Just when the great sage Xianxia was about to be unable to withstand it, unexpected reinforcements appeared, and the army of gods arrived. The 3 masters of the god realm have been observing the battle between immortals and demons with the 10,000 realms mirror. After they concluded that the immortal world was no match for the demon world, they could not sit still. If the demon flame master turned all the immortals in the immortal world into demons, with slaves and blood food, what benefits can the god realm get? The lord of demonic flame was extremely angry at the god realm's participation in the war, and was even more shocked that there were 3 powerful masters in the god realm. However, he was not willing to give up the fruits of victory, and the 2 sides started a fierce battle. A master-level battle can destroy the world. In order to protect his men, Xianxia entered the starry sky to fight. In the end, the 3 masters of the gods had the numerical advantage, and the demon flame master was seriously injured and escaped. Just when the gods were about to take over the fruits of victory and enslave the immortals in the immortal world, Lin Su and Sun Wukong broke out of the temple. Not only did they regain their peak combat power in their previous lives, but they both further broke into the dominator level. In the great battle, the 3 masters of the god clan fled in panic, with 1 dead and 2 injured. Unwilling to fail, the gods united with the demons to use forbidden techniques to summon the ancient demon god whose combat power far exceeded the master level. Lin Su and Sun Wukong joined forces to fight against the ancient demon god, but were still defeated. At the critical moment, Sun Wukong stripped off all his power and merged it with Lin Su. Within the body, the power of the avenue was exhausted and fell. With the help of Sun Wukong, Lin Su's cultivation level improved again, breaking through the limit of endless years and breaking into the realm of the god of creation. He summoned the spiritual field space from the sea of chaos to merge with himself, and obtained the supreme golden body of chaos. After the world extermination war, the ancient demon gods were wiped out and the 2 races of gods and demons were completely wiped out, but the continent of the 3 realms of immortals, gods, and demons also fell apart. Lin Su used his supreme magical power to send the souls of the immortals who died in the war into the reincarnation passage to be reincarnated, reshape the body and path for Sun Wukong, and transfer the surviving immortals into the spiritual field space, and renamed it Creation World. Opened a new era. The novel has been blocked. I originally planned to finish it seriously, but I had no choice but to end it hastily. The new book will be available to everyone during the National Day. It is an urban one and should be transferred to Xianxia. Anyway, Kitty and Xianxia is now a family. Baozu doesn't know how many book friends can read this passage. I hope those who read it will support it.